of Victory. This stained glass is over 100 years old. And in 2016, I rescued it. It was part of a team that rescued it from the bar that you see behind me. Back in the 80s, this bar, what used to be our downtown train depot and warehouse, was turned into a bar in the 80s by a couple that used to be in the film industry. And they brought that stained glass here to Fort Collins from Pittsburgh and hung it over the bar, where it watched over this city's young people and old alike play games and drink and have fun and be a part of the community for nearly 40 to 50 years. And in 2016, when the owners closed the bar and sold the property to a local event company, they wanted to be able to save this stained glass, but they didn't know how. And that's where I came in. My team and I were able to take this glass 14 feet off of the wall, truck it through town, restore the glass so that it could be re-established here in the new building in our new event center overlooking all of downtown Fort Collins. Now, if you're not from America, or specifically Colorado, you may or may not have heard of Fort Collins before, but we have been voted one of the best cities to live in the US time after time over the last 15 to 20 years. And I am proud to call this my hometown. This is where I grew up. This is where I learned to become a leader, from being a cross-country team captain in high school to starting my first business here as a catering company in my early 20s. Now I went from that to becoming a maverick in the industry of meditation, hypnosis, and spirituality. And I'm coming to you today because I am so excited for this opportunity. I know that it's time for me to transition, to become a new leader. And the reason I wanted to talk to you about George Washington today is because I guarantee you, when he started out in the New World, he didn't know what a president was. He didn't know who he would be or how important he would be, but he knew he had a vision and he knew he was standing for something that mattered. And that's what I have. I know I have a vision, and I know I'm standing for things that matter. And with George Washington and the Angels of Victory over my shoulder today, I know that when you choose me, I will make the kind of impact in this world that George made for us, that brought us freedom, that brought us hope, that brought us courage, and showed us that we can pave a life for ourselves. George is what our country was built on, and now it's time for a new phase. We are becoming one world, and borders are becoming obsolete. The internet has changed everything for us, and we're in a new era, and I'm ready to lead that era. Just like when George showed up in the New World, he didn't know what the USA was, and he didn't know what being a president would be like. I'm standing before you today with that same openness. And I want to work with you because I know you're already working with all the Georges that are out there. All of them. They're in your hands, they're in your fingertips. And when I look at what you've done, Catherine, you've done everything that I would have done, that I've wanted to do, to get to the point that I wanted to get to be able to reach leaders and have an impact on them and shift everything towards joy and celebration. And that's something that I can do through events. I can do it through so many things, and more importantly than anything, I can do it with your help. And so I, more than anything, am excited about this scholarship and this opportunity to work with you, and so incredibly thankful that you asked for me to do this, because whether I win or not, it helped me to see who I am and where I am in this world and what I'm doing and what possibility is out there. Because on the day when my dad asked me if I could help him with a project and I said yes, I didn't know what that project was. And now here I am, several years later, standing in front of this beautiful stained glass that overlooks our city for all of us to be enjoyed. So thank you again for this opportunity. I hope that I get the chance to work with you, and I trust that whoever you choose is going to be the next George.